Hi and welcome. This is Peggy. I'm going to talk to you about boundaries. We've got about 5 different segments I'm going to record here, about a minute or two each, and give you some info on boundaries so that you can start to feel joy in your life because you're determining how you want things to be. So first of all, what is a boundary? Boundaries are basically what's okay and what's not okay. Like personal property lines, they define who you are and who you are not, and influence all areas of your life. So I'm just going to give you an outline here. We're going to do, besides this little video, we're going to have a video on the 4 areas of boundaries and what boundaries are not, the benefits of boundaries, signs of lack of boundaries, and steps to setting some boundaries for yourself. So which is the 4 areas of boundaries and also what boundaries are not. So there's physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, and spiritual boundaries. And so physical boundaries help you determine who may touch you and under what circumstances. Emotional boundaries give you the freedom to have your own feelings. Mental boundaries give you the freedom to have your own thoughts. And spiritual boundaries help you understand the difference between your will and God's will, as well as protect you against others using your spiritual beliefs to manipulate you. And you can choose, and your boundaries also, your spiritual boundaries also, if you believe or not believe, what you believe in is your choice. So what boundaries are not? Boundaries are not about convincing someone else to behave the way you think they should. They're not about limiting your joy and happiness because you'll be living your life based on your values. And they're not set in stone. They can change as you grow and learn. And boundaries are not about right or wrong. They're based on your value system and your perspective. So that's the basics. We've got physical, emotional, mental, spiritual boundaries, and they're essential for a happy life. So I'll see you in the next video, which is the benefits of boundaries. For one of the benefits is more compassion. Often people think boundaries are mean or wrong, and they feel guilty thinking they don't have the right to ask for what they want or need. It's actually kind and respectful to let people know what's okay and not okay with you. And it sets clear expectations. I love clear expectations. I know a lot of guys love clear expectations from women. It leads to better relationships. It enhances closeness and trust. People respond well to honesty. Saying no brings more of what you want and more freedom, not the other way around. And the last one in this section is getting what you want. When we speak up and let others know what we want, we're much more likely to get it. Now, if you're not sure what you want, then here's a little caveat. Maybe we need to talk about values and what it is, and how to get more of what you want and what you really do value. So greater assertiveness and expression of your wants and desires, and also finding peace. So communicating clearly gives you power, the power to choose. This is big. Clearly and kindly stating what you want and need is very empowering. What might change in your life if you started doing this? Another benefit is less anger and resentment. We can overcommit, we sometimes overspend, we worry about taking care of others, all the while doing things that conflict with our own needs and values. If you're feeling anger and resentment, you might want to ask yourself in what ways you are crossing your own boundaries, or someone else might be crossing your boundaries. And if you don't know what your values are and you can't clearly articulate them, let's get that going for you, and you'll see how life-changing it is to be really clear on what you want, and expressing that. That really helps to get rid of a lot of anger and resentment, because anger is a sign that your boundaries have been crossed. When you feel anger and resentment, that means your boundaries may be being crossed, and it may be by yourself. Okay, feeling safe and peaceful. Boundaries protect us from emotional and physical harm. This includes verbal abuse, emotional manipulation, physical harm, and even from spiritual manipulation. And then finding joy in the journey. Saying yes to things you love and people who build you up is a great beginning to finding joy. Signs that you lack boundaries. Your relationships tend to be difficult or dramatic. Oh, you find decision-making a real challenge. You really hate letting other people down and are a chronic people pleaser. That's a big one. Chronic fatigue or low-grade depression sometimes is an indicator that you're not expressing what you really want and what you value in your life. Another one is you are constantly the victim of situations. If you're feeling overlooked or blamed at work or in your family or social circles, it might mean you are not setting clear parameters within yourself and others. Another one is being a little annoyed most of the time. I'm not saying just once in a while. I'm just like, if you feel like you're kind of chronically annoyed, it may mean that you're frustrated because you're actually going against your values and what you want. Another one is you feel like others don't show you respect. So by not making your desires and wants known, you're unwittingly giving others incorrect information on how they need to treat you. 8, I haven't been numbering them. This is number 8 though. You might get passive aggressive. If you regularly say no when you really want to say yes, you will find yourself feeling upset and powerless and may blame others. 9, you often wonder who you really are. This was an issue for me for a long time. Who am I? I couldn't make decisions. You may be basing your opinion on yourself, of yourself on what others think of you and striving to live up to what others want rather than what you want. And it may be that you are unclear on your purpose in life, which I think for me for a long time was really hard. And the 10th one is you have a secret fear of being rejected or abandoned. We poking some pain here. All right, our final video, and these are the steps of setting boundaries. And the first step is to recognize the signal. And this is, there's pain, discomfort, or uneasiness might occur. You get a signal, your gut feeling is telling you, whoa, something's off here. So there's a boundary that's maybe been crossed, disrespected. So listen to your body, because it will teach you when your boundaries are being crossed. That's the first step, recognize the signal. Second is observe. Observe and feel your feelings without reacting. So just be curious, why am I feeling this? What is this about? Is it something that's created in this moment, or is it bringing up an old wound that, maybe you have some healing to do from the past? So second is observe. Third, take responsibility. This is my reaction. This is my responsibility. Nobody else is responsible for fixing this. This is my job. So doing this keeps us connected to our own power. And this is essential. It's really essential that you take responsibility for what you're feeling. And then connect. This is the next step. Connect to who you really are and your truth. Be courageous about it. Make some statements, maybe I statements. And this is a part of where you need to speak out your boundaries. And I'm just a little caveat here. I'm really good at helping you articulate your boundaries in the moment. Sometimes conversations cross boundaries, and having the right scripting and understanding of how to respond can be really, really helpful. So let's see, we've talked about recognize a signal, observe your reaction, take responsibility for it, connect to the truth and how you want to show up in your life, and then detach. Detach from getting validation from others or having them get you. Although this is important in certain times, but if you really feel like the other person has to validate you, it's going to kind of deflate what you need to do. So detach from what their response, and just know that this is what you need and what you need to get. And then the last thing is let go of the outcome. The difference between setting healthy boundaries and manipulation is your willingness to let go of the outcome. This really isn't about making them do something. This is about getting what you need for yourself, for your own safety, for your own joy, and for your own life. Thank you so much for listening to these videos on boundaries. I hope they've been helpful with you. I would love to connect with you if you'd like to dive deeper and really make a safety plan, or a plan for you, learn what your values are and really start living from that. I help people make a values compass as well. And this is your guide to help you move forward in your life. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling disrespected, if you feel like you don't know your purpose, come and schedule an appointment with me and let's talk, and let's set a plan for you and get going. All right. Thank you so much. I'm Coach Peggy, and I will talk to you later.